So even though I think I know the answer to this question, can someone please tell me why is it that whenever new information is about to come out about this Jonathan Majors case, it's always some stunts and shows from Jonathan Majors and his team? Like, I know y'all remember that video of him allegedly breaking up some high school fight, some high school girl fight. And also, it seems like people love to eat up the idea that his accuser, Grace Jabari, is going to be arrested, when the DA's office has come out and said that that is not the case. And I'm just going to get to this real quick before we get into the rest of the tea. But apparently a filing from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office has dismissed the idea that the DA has any plans to prosecute Jabari for domestic violence alleged by Majors in a counterclaim, contradicting recent media reports that claimed such an action was imminent. And so we'll put more of the pieces together as we go through this article. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is a Variety report. Jonathan Majors' criminal case, the DA releases new details, including a police incident in London. So prosecutors in the Jonathan Majors case have revealed a previously unreported incident involving London police, which they believe is relevant to their domestic violence allegations. So this is the tea that dropped. And so my opinion is the Jonathan Majors team knew that this shit was coming. Obviously, a day before, it was a day before he had to go back to court, which is the day I'm recording this, October 25th, he has to go back to court. And so it makes sense to me then that maybe his team was like, look, we need a way to distract these girls, get some misinformation out there, say that, you know, the accusers about to be arrested, so that we can obviously move their eyes away from the fact that this has come out. So we know that Majors was arrested on March 25th in Manhattan for the initial the incident that we're talking about. But in a new 115-page filing obtained by Variety, prosecutors say they are attempting to get a copy of a London Metropolitan Police report from September 2022. While it's unclear what the report contains, the filing references medical care obtained by Jabari at the time. Jabari is a citizen of the UK, and Majors was in London during that period filming season 2 of Loki. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to put all that shit together, like why they want the report, why they want to use it for evidence. If he was there at the same time and she receiving medical care and the police was involved, like, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to put that shit together. Let's switch to Deadline for a moment. Details of the London Metropolitan Police report from over a year ago are unknown. However, medical records from the UK, photographs taken by medical providers, a correspondence with a medical provider related to a September 2022 incident are among the new evidence prosecutors acquired, according to a recent filing in the New York criminal case. Okay, so the original article goes on. The development comes a day before Majors has to return to court for his domestic violence case. Now, this hearing is expected to be one of the final pretrial hearings before the judge rules on whether to proceed with or dismiss the case. The lengthy filing from the Manhattan DA's office is in response to the actor's motion to dismiss the case. It does not entirely lay out the DA's case, though it is intended to provide enough detail to move the case forward. Now, this I think is also very important. Variety reported that additional alleged abuse victims of Majors are cooperating with the DA's office. So you have the incident, like the original incident that this case is about. You have another incident in September 2022, apparently, that happened in UK that they're trying to get evidence and information out of the London police. You have that. And then on top of that, you have other alleged abuse victims that are working with the DA's office. Like, y'all just gonna have to get rid of this fantasy of Grace Jabari being prosecuted and arrested. Y'all gonna have to really just look at what's happening. And it's like, we following the case, and it doesn't matter how many distractions Jonathan Majors' teams puts up or tries to like avert our eyes from what's going on. It's just like, girl, we're seeing we're seeing the documents, girl. Like, we're seeing what the tea is. I mean, we got multiple incidents, and we apparently allegedly have other abuse victims working with the DA's office. So it's just like, y'all gonna have to come up with something a little bit different than these distractions. Like, it's not looking good for you, mama. Okay, now the district attorney's filing also alleges that Major's legal team has leaked and misrepresented court evidence, as well as attempted to have police create a wanted poster with Jabari's photo. It also dismisses the idea that the DA has any plans to prosecute Jabari for domestic violence alleged by Majors in a counterclaim, contradicting recent media reports that claimed such an action was imminent. That's why I was like, okay, so on, like, right when this news is dropping that, you know, there's another incident that that the DA is trying to get more information about, suddenly this idea that Grace Jabari is getting arrested is being rehashed in the media. And it's just like, okay, like, I'm so sorry, but y'all gonna have to be a little bit less obvious than that. So the article now goes into what the DA's office says happened the day Majors was arrested. So this is according to the DA's filing, right? On March 25th, he and Jabari were taking a private car service from a Brooklyn party to their Chelsea apartment, according to the filing. Jabari, who worked as a movement coach alongside Majors on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, saw a text on Major's phone that read, "Wish I was kissing you right now." She allegedly took the phone out of his hands to see who sent the message. Majors then began grabbing the right side of Miss Jabari's body and prying Miss Jabari's right middle finger off the phone, causing bruising, swelling, and substantial pain. The filing continues that Majors then grabbed Miss Jabari's arm and right hand and proceeded to twist Miss Jabari's forearm, causing substantial pain to her finger and arm. The defendant then struck Miss Jabari's right ear, causing a laceration to the back of her ear and substantial pain. After he retrieved his phone, Majors exited the vehicle and Jabari attempted to follow the actor. That's when, quote, the defendant grabbed her, picked her up, and threw her back inside, and she sustained substantial pain, including a fractured finger, bruising about her body, a laceration behind her right ear, and a bump on her head. This is according to the filing. The filing calls into question also a number of media leaks that paint Jabari as the aggressor. Now, that's the apparent story of, that's what the DA is saying happened. So let's get into what Jonathan Majors and his lawyers are saying in response. So Majors' lawyers have previously alleged that there's a video that shows at least one bystander called 911 and that an NYPD patrol car responded to the location, and that the defense has been informed that the NYPD possesses at least one other 911 call from the scene of the altercation. But the state is casting doubt on this depiction of events. The DA's filing says an unrelated taxi was pulled over nearby and police were called. This taxi is not in any way involved with the case. The filing says it also alleges there were no other radio runs, sprint reports, or 911 calls from the scene of the incident that night. So also, Majors' lawyers has maintained that there is evidence clearing Majors of any wrongdoing, including surveillance video that shows Jabari completely unharmed after the defendant alleged assault. But the new filing counters this assertion, saying the surveillance video referred to by the defense actually shows Miss Jabari visibly crying, upset, and seeking help from strangers to get an Uber home. So Majors' team has contended that the DA is withholding relevant information. However, the filing says the DA disclosed a substantial amount of discovery that included NYPD memo books, phone records, medical records, signed search warrants, and related affidavits for the defendant's iCloud and phone, surveillance video from 8 locations, and witness interview notes from 9 individuals. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see how this develops, but apparently the DA is just responding to what's been going on. Y'all talking about, oh, Grace Jabari is going to be arrested. The accuser is going to be arrested. She's going to be prosecuted. The DA said, hell the fuck no. The DA said, actually, we are working with other alleged victims, and we got another situation that apparently happened in the UK. We're trying to get records from there. Jonathan Majors' lawyer said, well, just look at the surveillance video. Grace Jabari was completely unharmed. She's fine. It's fine. Look at her. But then the DA said, well, girl, actually, she wasn't fine. She was upset and crying, and she was seeking help from strangers to try to fucking get home. Jonathan Majors' lawyer said, well, y'all are withholding relevant information. But then the DA came back and said, well, actually, we disclosed a lot of discovery and had a thorough investigation. So it's just like, obviously, we'll just watch this play out, you know, but I don't know what to tell y'all. It's like every single time they try a stunt and show, the girls, the DA come back or people come back, the facts come back, and it's just like, well, like it's a stunt and show. Y'all are putting on stunts and shows, and it's still not convincing anybody that it's not convincing me. I'm telling you that right now. Like, looking through all this stuff, you know, seeing how many distractions were put in place, and it's like, I'm just not convinced that this man just didn't do anything. He just didn't do anything at all, and this is completely coming out of left field, and it's just happening for no reason. It's just like, y'all gonna have to be more convincing. And if not, we just gonna see this shit play out in court, and that's what's about to happen. I would love to hear what y'all think about this. Thank y'all so much for watching. Love y'all so much, and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening. Holy, worship me, yeah, you can blow me. I ain't the only, you so lonely, insecure, they don't control me. I ain't the only, press that holy, worship me, yeah, you can blow me. I ain't the only, you so lonely, insecure, they don't